soon now. This is an absolute monster that's lined up for us here now, and this is a Packard 8.
There we are, good luck then. You can ride the hill for a donation. You got here,
Sure, here we absolutely flatten. You can go very easily by jumping down to the main tent, opposite the information area there, and entering our raffle. We start with the donations around 30 quid, I think. You can
with that later body then from the 1950s added to a much earlier pre-war MG. I can see why people would confuse that for an ACM. We would let you off of that.
This boat from 1935, the American car again. This is the Ford Model 48. Stunning, modern paintwork on this, I think, which makes it absolutely gorgeous, lovely power.
For this period in the 1930s was incredible, and as he says, one Le Mans,
the brand responsible for this car, of course, the Aston Martin. What are we looking at here? This is Aston Martin, one of us. Aston built by Aston Martin in 1939 to lay down
tracks for another day.
That's Stephen Skipwood from Newbury driving that particular one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, these two particular bikes are on the start line for a particular reason, because we're paying tribute this weekend to Bob Woodward, who passed away very recently, a key part of the Kop Hill team. He was always recognisable in the padded field by his wide racing supercourse, and he enjoyed open entrance each year, and was also known for riding his beloved Scott motorcycles, like the squirrels we see in front of us on the hill. You might have come across him, and you might not have even known you'd come across him, because it's likely that you spoke to him on the telephone, as he, for many years, dealt with all of the entrants here at Kop Hill. It was him who put everyone on the hill. So, ladies and gentlemen, in memory of an amazing person that did so amazing many of things for Kop Hill and made this event what it is today, please put your hands together for the memory of Bob Woodward.
Joanne there in second place currently as they fly up Kop Hill, and we get back to the action here. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are very much about our volunteer team here at Kop Hill. French car and brand new one in all aspects of motorsport, of course. Formula 1
GTS ready to take to the hill to show
what supercars look like in contrast to some of the more historic vehicles we've had up this morning. And this is what it's all about here.
Trophy winner here.
Fantastic.
There is trophy winner. Prepared by the Jordan Racing team, one with Mike Jordan and Nicholas Vanessa. Our temperature's off the charts, so I'm hoping you can open up.
Okay.
Not meant to sit still.
Absolutely. Well done on your Sumerian by
worked right with the Peugeot in the World Endurance Championship for a time, and looking fantastic as it heads up Kop Hill Drive, fresh then from a very focus on motorsports, and these were so successful in their day. Such a lightweight package, of course, as well, and no time to hang around as this particular outfit kicks the hill very quickly. That's the wrong era now, and this was a radical design when it was launched way back in the early 1990s. It was the era of straight edges and sharp corners. We're jumping about the calendar a little bit here at the moment, but of course, as the MG sporting brand went into the 1960s, they left the separate chassis MGA behind and pitched a guy from Aston Martin, very clever man, called John Hayter, who Sid Enever, who was in charge of MG at the time, brought in. With a lot of promise to design the follow-up to the very successful MGA, and this was what they launched in those early 1960s. Initially as a convertible, of course, the MGB. The GT version came later on in the mid-1960s as the sports car market went ever closer to vehicles that could do longer mileage, a little bit more comfort and refinement. And this one sporting the lovely rollback Webasto roof there that was an option on these cars, the MGB GT then. 1960s heading up Kop Hill, and to a totally different tone now. That's this huge enjoy. It shows what you can do. That lovely straight six engine, of course, that the Austin Healey's later on. This an MGA, of course, started as a brilliant project by Sid Enever to take T-types racing at Le Mans. It started as a aerodynamics, of course, for the UK brands at the time, and would go through the 50s up to the MGB's arrival in the early 1960s, but the T-type wasn't there, of course. After the Second World War, we saw the TC earlier on this. Much later on, as we head into the 1950s, the TD, MG, and a very nice car to drive, Belgium. Very nice car. You don't want to store it. Don't store it. Don't let me put you on.
I see it. Very good.
The V8 engine is absolutely obvious, that thing, isn't it? This an anniversary car for this year, launched saloon for the guy that wanted a sports car, but needed to take the family with him. Of course, in Abingdon, they were building these as well, the Austin Healey Sprite. This is the Frog Eye Sprite, or the Mark I Austin Healey Sprite. Eventually, from the Mark II, be made under this name, and of course the MG Midget name. The MG Midget name would win out, but the Austin Healey Sprite name being used for those early models, what we call the Frog Eyes.
It has been the shopping car of choice for many families during the 50s. They were also quite happy little race cars as well, as we're seeing. And this a car that is very special indeed, the Ronart, named after Rona and Arthur, who were the couple that created the company that made these in Peterborough, based on a Jaguar, a little Jaguar, bits and pieces underneath the XJ6, mainly under here. So I know a little bit about those cars. From big Jaguars now to micro cars, and of course the 1950s with the Suez oil crisis and other issues around the world at the forefront of manufacturers' minds. Many cars, engines of less than a litre like this, British sports cars, heading up the hill now. The 1950s were also the time, of course, for the British sports car. This, now known as the TR3A, was never known as that during the period. It was the facelifted TR3 to arrive in 1957. Followed on all the doors, and that lovely standard Vanguard four-cylinder engine up front there. Wonderful piece of British 1950s history. On the hill currently, the Triumph TR3A, and just less than a 2-litre engine, 4 cylinders heading up the hill. Now, Kip Mass and Brian Redmond being amongst them. It's a historic racing Mercedes takes to the hill. We've got another Morris Minor now. This one sounds like a Morris Minor should. No room of the egg going on this one. And of course it is the wonderful Traveller body as well. Lovely 1-litre
booster engine, this beautiful bodywork with the wood paneling and the structure behind.
Hello Sue, you ready? She's off. Sue's gone, just like the drivers did at Le Mans in the mid-1950s when the MGA arrived and had so much success in that race. Handsome Ted Lund, another fantastic names in history. Austin Healey, though, straight six engine. So this should go very well. I believe as the flag drops. Really to Austin Healey. Takes the cup here in 2024. Another Healey here, 106. With some interesting bulges going on. You're going to drive it like a works replica. Excellent. Of course, Austin Healey's very much successful in the Alpine rallies of the late 50s, early 60s. That was a replica then of those cars. And as the MGA was developed through its period of time throughout the late 1950s into just touching the 1950s. Yeah, okay, off you go.
On rally circuits of the Alpines in particular, it suddenly became icon. Huge V8 up front, mad styling, the sort of styling you can cut your finger on. Smooth tyres all the way up the starting straight here at Kop Hill. As we go late, and this was the GT40. With the Logan MP for Princess Risborough in the passenger seat race. Great support of not only Kop Hill Drive but the charities of course here as well. Great to meet them key. Do you crash through many cardboard boxes here? Excellent. Tarmac up here at Kop Hill. Fantastic, phenomenal race cars these. Glass as the rear window. Very much a British muscle car in every aspect. Very lightweight, very powerful cars. And this has to be one of the most brilliant designs. I love them. As it was the first car ever to be named with the name Jaguar, of course. Fiat next on the start line. And as it heads up the hill here at Kop, just take it in because these are the sort of cars you just don't get to see. And if you do, they're often behind a velvet rope in a museum somewhere, not here. We get to enjoy Ferrari, Testarossa,
traction going and heads up towards the personal marshal post. Supercar icon, probably the loudest car we have had up the hill all day, and just lost TVR. Rumours are very as yet we haven't seen any production cars coming out of what's supposed to be a factory in South Wales, 1.8 litre. Always amazed by the big expansive glass over the rear of these cars. And now, a big chunk. We have some of the American muscle cars with us now on the start line. These big. Next, 554. Oh, hello. So you're going to one, aren't you? 68. So you can see the engine fitting in the frame.
I think it's a fitting last by bringing us back into the car as the engine was actually designed as a car.
Looks like it's J time, I think, is it? Am I right there? PA, sorry, right, okay, slightly late.
Concentrating on this. It's wonderful to have you here at Kop Hill. It really does mean a lot to have you here with us, and thank you so much for bringing your wonderful cars. This car, of course, the latest design idea from the famous Gordon Murray, responsible for so many legendary racing cars, Formula One cars, and others. JK at the wheel of this from his collection, and he will take to the hill now. Ladies and gentlemen, from Jamiroquai, JK!